Was our main event a dream match or an undisputed nightmare?
Grab yourself a Nuka-Cola and some Fancy Lad snack cakes, because this is Fallout, and this is NXT. Finn Balor in Canada.
Yeah, we did. Toronto.
Welcome everybody to What's NXT for February 19th. No.
Yeah, February 19th.
Is it?
Yes.
Holy shit, I got it right. February 19th, 2020. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, live here with the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good morning, wrestling fans.
So, NXT's main attraction this week was the main event.
Yeah.
Velveteen Dream, Roderick Strong, they
grudge
played
match.
Up on this all night long. After a long-ass recap of NXT TakeOver Portland, we had the Undisputed Era come to the ring, and Adam Cole wants to say, I told you so. He's still got the belt, although Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish do not.
Kyle O'Reilly looks so sad.
Yeah. He wanted to do the air guitar. He just had no belt to do it with.
Yeah.
Then again, air guitar, you really don't need it. Anyway, he was sad.
Mm-hmm.
However, before Roderick Strong can say anything, Velveteen Dream's music comes on. Or is it his music or just his voice?
It's very Wizard of Oz-ish, because like he's just had his face on the screen and just that echoing voice throughout Full Sail.
Well, he's not stupid enough to come out, not by himself, but he does get on a mic somewhere. You don't even see him. And he basically challenges Roderick Strong to a one-on-one match.
Do not bring the boys with you.
No. Let's settle this man-to-man, mano-a-mano. And Roderick kind of just gets pissed and says, like, he's going to, like...
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to avenge my family and all this other crap.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here like, I think, honestly, Velveteen Dream is getting more revenge here because... He was put on the shelf for 5 months because they apparently... We never got the story here until he said it last week. They threw him off of the top of a truck, semi-truck. So, cool. Anyway, that's the main event. But they're starting off the show hyping the main event, and they will continue to do so for the rest of the night. We get a video recap of Johnny Gargano,
Tournament champ?
Yeah, costing Tommaso Ciampa the NXT Championship at Portland, and
people are still surprised by this.
Yeah, I don't think you should be surprised by anything anymore. But yeah, this was, I don't know. I was kind of surprised that they did it when they did it, but I wasn't surprised that they did it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Lio Rush versus Jordan Devlin for the Cruiserweight Championship, first match of the show. I guess if this isn't going to be the main event, might as well start the show with it. Mm-hmm. Great match.
Oh, terrific match.
Your thoughts?
It's a Jordan Devlin match. And Lio Rush was in there too. Lio Rush has always impressing me. Like he was annoying as hell as Lashley's manager, but now he's actually back to just doing what he does best, which is just wrestling. Awesome. Doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. We saw, of course, Jordan Devlin's greatest hits. However, it was the alternate version where he's on the apron and he does the Uranagi and then does the standing moonsault, only does a split-legged from the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Awesome looking.
But he tries it one too many times. He actually goes for the original And he hits the Uranagi, but Rush counters the standing moonsault with
The
knees to the gut.
It also he repositioned in air to land on the knees.
Well, Devlin was ruthless here. He hits a half and half that nearly takes Lio Rush's head off, and then hits this snap butterfly suplex that was just like, what? Because seriously, I always wonder why they don't do more snap suplexes.
Oh, snap suplexes are just great looking.
Yeah, and I feel like probably a little dangerous with some of the suplexes. That's why they stay with that vertical.
I'm going to give Toni Storm credit. She does an awesome snap German suplex.
Yeah, I think Pete Dunne does it really well too, but he usually does it off of somebody going sternum first into the quarter.
Yep. So first their chest hurts, and all of a sudden they're on their back and neck.
Yeah. Let's see. Rush escapes a Devlin side attempt and then goes for a come up, but Devlin counters that with a backbreaker where he picks him up and does the backbreaker.
Elevator backbreaker.
There you go. And he comes into the corner. Rush backdrops him over, and we've come to find out that's a terrible idea because he just springboards right back into a cutter. Doesn't get a 3 count though. Let's see. They get back up and trade black masses. Swear to God, these back kicks. I think Lio Rush hits one, and then Devlin immediately goes right into one of his own and hits it on Rush. And it was sweet looking.
It was like those kung fu fighters back in the day that you had the little trigger and everything. You just kind of kept on spinning them, and their legs and arms would just kick.
Then a little bit of offense, and you called this before it even happened. Rush comes off the ropes right into Devlin's Spanish fly. I don't believe he got even a pinfall because he goes to get into the pin, and Rush counters it with a Koji clutch. And he's got this on for a minute. See, Rush hits a poison avalanche Rana, or an avalanche Rana off the middle rope, and then hits a come up, but only gets a near fall because he's got him right next to the ropes, and Devlin gets his foot on the ropes. So
thank God.
He goes up top for a, final hour, but Devlin dodges out of the way and then hits a headbutt, grabs a hold of that wrist, immediately pulls him into a Devlin side. 1, 2, 3. Devlin keeps it up.
This wasn't just a headbutt, okay? This might as well have been Kano's fatality.
I don't know. I think in the tag match later we saw a nearly unintentional looking headbutt that might have been a little sicker.
Yeah. But
that's a little later. Meanwhile, interview with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez about what the fuck happened at Portland. And Gonzalez is basically like, look, Dakota Kai has been looked over for Tegan Nox getting all these opportunities lately, and I'm wondering what the fuck opportunities she's talking about, but that's neither here nor there.
No.
She says, though, that she got outcasted for taking care of number one, basically.
Yeah.
She's like, no longer. I know how that feels. To be on the outside looking in kind of thing.
Because she's been overlooked at Full Sail and blah, blah, and the Performance Center and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, probably because she doesn't know how to put somebody through a table as opposed to onto and then off of a table.
Oh, snap.
Oh, anyway. She says she's got Dakota Kai's back, and Dakota Kai says, you proved at TakeOver Portland that you really do have my back, and from now on I've got your back, and blah, 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 yakety schmackety. William Regal interrupts, and he says, all great for you guys, but I want to let you know, Gonzalez ain't gonna matter for shit, because in 2 weeks' time, it is going to be Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai in a steel cage. Cool.
Yes,
thanks, Regal.
I'm all for this.
He walks off super satisfied with himself, and as he should be. Meanwhile, we cut back to Sunday, and Rhea Ripley is heading somewhere, and I guess it wasn't right after the match. She had like some press interview.
Yeah.
But then now the unimportant press, the guys from Full Sail, are back there waiting on her. All she has to say to, I guess the last time we're going to see Kathy Kelly on NXT. And she tells her, look, yeah, she attacked me from behind, but whatever, I got what I want. And at WrestleMania, even queens have nightmares. We're done here. And she walks off. And love you, Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
Rhea, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to.
She should get rid of the H if she's going to be Rhea.
Austin Theory's coming out for a match. Unfortunately, we don't even get to find out who the fuck he's facing because while he's in the ring posing, Tommaso Ciampa just wanders to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
As, you know what? Fuck it, let him.
He's Ciampa.
Yeah, he's Ciampa. He gets a mic and he starts to talk, and Austin Theory approaches him real quick, and he's like, "Look, man,
not
tonight. I'm just warning you, not tonight." And basically, he says, he doesn't have the same question everybody else thinks he's got. He's not asking himself why Johnny, why. He should have seen this coming.
Yeah, he was paying more attention to Goldie and less to his surroundings.
The question is, and I don't think he gets to get off a question because Austin Theory interrupts him like, "Hey, dude, I'm supposed to have a match," and
just
Ciampa
punched him out.
Yeah. He punches him in the fucking face. He says, "If I want my life back, there can be no Johnny Gargano in NXT."
Mm-hmm.
So, before he can go for the title again, he's got to take out Gargano. Looks like maybe he's not going to be in the title picture. Fuck.
Which is stupid, because you would think they would just be put into a triple threat match with Adam Cole, or maybe Fatal 4-Way with Finn Balor thrown in there too.
Anyway, he goes to leave, and Austin Theory kind of attacks him again, which, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but at the same time...
Well, this time he attacked him because he got punched in the face.
But Ciampa turns around and decks him again. I think he hits him with a running knee, and then just starts throwing him into the barricade.
Back and forth.
On either side of the end
forth.
of the rampway, and I think he does it like 9 times total. I think I was counting.
Well, it was 9, and then he walked away, and then he realized, okay, odd number, goes back and throws him for a 10th time.
Robert Stone is backstage directing Chelsea Green's photo shoot, and we're about to get a match between her and Caden Carter.
Later this evening.
But meanwhile, Finn Balor's got a video promo, and they're doing such a good job with his video promos.
They're doing a good job with Finn Balor in general.
He said NXT is his chessboard. He proved that at Portland, and next week you're going to get to see his next move.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that wasn't foretelling enough, they're going to remind us later that, yes, we're going to get to see Finn Balor live next week, but they don't specify a match. So,
I'm thinking Keith Lee.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'd prefer Adam Cole, but whatevs. Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde come out for a match. Apparently these two have been feuding, but are now a tag team.
That's how most of good tag teams form.
Well, unfortunately, they're facing the grizzled young veterans Zach Gibson and James Drake, and these guys trust us because we've been watching them since NXT UK's inception. Fuck yeah, these two.
Yep. I was so happy when I saw that on Titantron. I'm like, oh, these two are toast.
I don't have a lot of notes here, but...
You don't need a lot of notes. It's a Gibson and Drake match.
Yeah, Mendoza and Wilde were essentially playing the baby faces, although they were in the wrong corner. And they had a little bit of the match, but then Wilde gets taken out. Mendoza's in the ring. He goes for this head scissors. And
James Drake just
spins him for a minute and then throws him up. And fucking Zach Gibson has made the blind tag, who just comes in and scoops up the Mendoza off of the throw into the Ticket to Mayhem. 1, 2, 3. I mean, this was...
Joaquin Wilde looked stupid going out there.
Yeah, at least he didn't have to take the pinfall.
Yeah.
Gibson gets on a mic and says that this is not the land of the free and the home of the brave. It is the land of the neckbeards and the home of the ignorant Yanks.
Mm-hmm.
And the grizzled young veterans have come to take over NXT, soon to be recognized as the world's #1. That's all they say. I like how the NXT probably either promo staff or somebody have gotten them to like shorten up the variables.
Yeah.
Those X, Y's, and Z's that we hear in all of the grizzled young veterans promos, they've figured out ways to make them sound not so repetitive.
Yeah, they chopped it shorter is what they did.
But that's all they need is world's #1.
Mm-hmm.
So I dig it. Sure, whatever. NXT UK TakeOver Dublin, April 26th. They're reminding us, not that we need it. I'm just glad that it's going to be less than 8 months in between takeovers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle come out to face Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, but not before getting on the mic, because Matt Riddle wants to know where the fuck is our golf cart. And Dunne reminds him that somehow he managed to get it impounded. And Matt Riddle says that after we won the titles, we had a party in Portland, and he did his fair share of partying, and apparently Pete Dunne is a machine.
Yep.
However,
he's the machine.
The Stallion Cup partied too hard and failed the wellness policy and has been suspended for 30 days. And I love this. Matt Riddle, it was started in the ring about 9 or 10 months ago with Matt Riddle starting to impress me. And now his mic skills are impressing me.
Oh, I can honestly say that the moment I found out that Matt Riddle was the real deal was the 5-way scramble.
Right, but now he's got this, I said it, now it's a thing.
Yeah, I said it, it's a thing now.
It's a thing now. And that's his thing now, and that's great, and whatever. So
eventually he's going to have a shirt that's going to be a list of things.
So Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch get to come down and put on a good showing and a fierce effort for losing to the Cruiserweights, because they weren't going to
It was a non-title match, so I wasn't really too concerned with it anyway. But at the same time, I didn't see Lorcan and Burch winning this match at any point. I saw maybe some interference or some shenanigans towards the end, but this match ended up being played all the way through. So
yeah, I've got a couple of notes here, just that power bomb with the enziguri that Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle do now that. We saw it, I think, in Portland for the first time. This time we saw it a little bit more calibrated. But their new finisher is a bitter end into... It's basically the high knee, the flash knee, but it kind of looks like he's cocking it like a go to sleep. But either way, I dig it. 1, 2, 3. That was just
the Riddle. The Riddle end.
Yeah, they called it the Riddle end. I like it. Cool. Cool. So... yeah, that's what that was. Good match, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, Lorcan and Danny Burch fought hard.
It was a solid tag match after another tag match.
Well, I think it was Lorcan was getting, super pumped up right there at the end. Runs into the corner and hits something on Pete Dunne. But he can't get out of the corner because Dunne just grabs his fingers. And then just snap, and then that was the beginning of the end right there. Meanwhile, Roderick Strong is backstage telling the Undisputed Era that he wants to do this match tonight by himself. And so he is going to go out there and go mano a mano as Velveteen Dream challenged. And we'll see if that happens. Forgotten Sons got on Twitter and are basically challenging the Grizzled Young Veterans because they take exceptions to the comments they made about neckbeards and... ignorant Yanks.
And call themselves grizzled young veterans. They don't like the fact that they're calling themselves veterans.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Who exactly is supposed to be the heel tag team in this match?
I feel like Jackson Riker will end up getting involved and it's going to ruin that match, but we'll see. We'll see. Keith Lee comes out, and I found this interesting because he came to the ring looking like he was coming to the ring for a match. But he was not announced that way. They were just saying, please welcome Keith Lee. So I'm like, okay, so he's coming out for a promo. He doesn't get a promo. He gets about 2 words out, and fucking Kona Reeves comes out, interrupts him. He might not have even gotten 2 words out. But I know Kona Reeves didn't get even 1 word out, because he comes to the ring, interrupts obviously, and gets a mic. As soon as he turns around from the corner, he gets pounced right back into the corner. Keith Lee's like, somebody ring a bell, and sure enough, there's a ref there. And immediately picks him up into a BBC. 1, 2, 3. Insta finisher. We haven't seen the likes of this since a couple of those Cameron Grimes matches. But anyway, yeah, insta finisher for the pinfall. And that's what that was. But suddenly, the camera pans out and there's Dominik Dijakovic in the ring. And you're like, what? Because his music's playing. And you're like, what?
Where'd he come from?
Yeah, where'd he come from other than his mama's... Anyway, so... He says he is not done with Keith Lee, and especially he's not done with the North American Championship because he had Keith Lee beat. He said that he said that Spanish Fly off the top was supposed to finish Keith Lee, not fuck up his back so that he wouldn't be able to hit the Feast Your Eyes. If he'd have hit that Feast Your Eyes, and Keith Lee's like, if, whatever. He's like, look, I won the match, period. But he said every time we've gotten in the ring, he's heard one thing from the crowd, and the crowd responds in kind, fight forever. He says, I tell you what, whether or not it's for the title or whatever, like, he said, if you can talk to William Regal and make it happen, I will indeed fight you forever. So, there you go. We'll see if William... I don't know. I feel like, why wouldn't William Regal be like... Why would he be like, eh? But then again, he might be like, you know, I want you to earn the opportunity because you did have it and fail. You know, so maybe we'll see a number one contenders match that Dominik Dijakovic does not win. Yeah,
who all do we have in the chat room?
Colin Andrew and the Holiday Chris Mace.
Okay.
Yeah, sweet.
Morning, boys.
We should make these guys moderators. I wonder how you do that. Anyway.
Moderate the room that only the two of them are in.
Back to the show. Kaden Carter comes out first. Interesting. But she did have the win the last time these two faced. Chelsea Green comes out with Robert Stone and hushes the crowd during her entrance. And I'm like, she didn't have to do that. Mm-hmm. This crowd's pretty silent for her. Mm-hmm. They made more noise for Kaden Carter. I'm pretty sure. Who has an awesome logo, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway. This match was about what you would expect out of the majority of it until Bianca Belair comes out and interrupts the match mid-progress while Chelsea Green is standing on Kaden Carter's hair over by the ropes. And Belair gets on the mic and proceeds to do, of all things, a Kanye West promo.
Mm-hmm.
She says,
hold on.
I'm happy for y'all, and I'm going to let you finish, but first, she says, I got to keep telling you, girl, you don't even go here. She's talking about Charlotte Flair, and she reminds her that she attacked her after the match in Portland for no fucking reason, and she says, look, be it here or be it there, I'm going to whoop that ass. So maybe she's coming to Raw looking for Charlotte Flair.
I think they're going to come here, and it's probably going to be at least a week before WrestleMania, or 2 weeks.
I don't know. We got a while before WrestleMania. They make you feel like it's not that long, but yeah, it's like a month and a half, or 2 months, something strong. Anyway, next week, Tommaso Ciampa versus Austin Theory. Oh, meanwhile, Stone trips Carter to finish the match. Mm-hmm. She's getting back in the ring. He trips her up while Chelsea Green's got the ref distracted. She picks her up, goes for like a backslide setup, but then turns it into like an inverted unprettier, which I think it looks more like a backslide neck breaker, but whatever.
Still work.
Cool move. I've never seen it before, so kudos to Chelsea Green for an innovative finisher. Again, Tommaso Ciampa next week.
For the win.
Versus, for the win. She gets the 1, 2, 3. But, whatever. Her manager, I guess. Agent helped her. So we've seen that. Mm-hmm. Whatevs. Again, Tommaso Ciampa next week faces Austin Theory. So I'm glad they're going somewhere with that little storyline thing. And sure. And they remind us Finn Balor will be live. And they also remind us that in 2 weeks we're getting Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai in a steel cage. So this is all I need to look forward to the next 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Honestly. Yeah. That brings us to the main event. Okay. Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong was way slower and way less like personal grudge match looking than I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. For like the first 2/3 of this match, honest to God, it was just like a pretty intense regular wrestling match. And Dream kind of started with the advantage, but he was doing it off the mind games, like kept getting out of the ring and trying to run around and lure Roderick Strong. Like finally got back in the ring, hit a drop kick. Anytime Roderick Strong would kind of get a little bit of an advantage, he would just duck away and frustrate him more. But then gets back in the ring and he starts letting his anger and aggression get a hold of him and starts attacking Roderick Strong in the ropes while the ref's doing a 5 count, and the ref tries to back him off, and while he's doing so, Roderick Strong gets a thumb to the eye, takes over the match, and really just works an aggressive regular match for the rest of this. Like, attacking his back, of course, because he's the Messiah of the backbreaker. At one point, Velveteen Dream hits him with a backbreaker, a pendulum backbreaker. But for the most part, this was just like a regular match, just a little bit more intense. And I'm like, I'm not really buying this. Also, before the match even started, so Velveteen Dream is wearing this this jumpsuit getup with no sleeves and a collar and a weightlifter's belt. And I'm like, easily underneath whatever that is, it is going to rip off, and he's got tights on that have Marina Shafir on them. And sure and fucking enough, first of all, the belt comes out toward the beginning of the match because he starts swinging it at Roderick Strong, who's on the apron. Of course, the ref takes it and has to get rid of it, but called that. Before I get to the end of this, though, what were your thoughts on the match?
Just your thoughts on it too. The fact that it was really slow moving. They could have took another week or so to make this simmer up some more and possibly made it more intense, or hell, even put this in a steel cage. But granted, we're getting Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai in one, or a street fight, something a little more personal than just like a run of the mill wrestling match, because this was kind of bland compared to what we should have gotten.
I mean, you would think.
There was no paprika. There was nothing on it.
Just a little too much salt.
Too much salt.
I thought there was one point where it was going to pick up because Dream goes up top and he gets pushed from the top corner forward onto the post and goes sternum first onto that corner post. And Roderick Strong gets up there and hits a backbreaker onto the top turnbuckle from there. And I thought that's where we were going to pick up and this was going to come to a conclusion. No, kind of slowed back down again. But then somewhere toward the end, Dream hits this super kick and a Dream Valley driver, and that's where he takes off the jumper. And he's got the tights that have Merino on them. This time they're on his crotch, so kudos to him, and on his taint.
Yeah.
And it's like, never mind.
Marina all over.
She's all over his junk. He goes to the top rope, but the Undisputed Era come out against what Roderick Strong said he was going to do. And he jumps off instead onto all three of them, takes them out, goes back up top. When he comes off, Roderick Strong hits him with that high knee. Goes for the pinfall, only gets a 2 count. They get up. Somehow Dream just picks him right up into a Death Valley driver again, and he gets the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. He gets the win, but then the rest of Undisputed Era get in there. They start kicking his ass, get up. He catches an end of heartache, whatever it is. A Roderick Strong finisher, toss-up backbreaker.
End of heartache, yeah.
Yeah.
Killswitch Engage album, really good one.
That is the end of the match, the end of the show. That's where we cut off. They stand tall, even though Roderick Strong lost the match. I guess this is a little bit of a good distraction away from the fact that he lost the North American Championship and thus was the first person to break the Golden Prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you start going down that road, then you got to focus on the tag team champions losing their belts, and then you're like, the Undisputed Era is falling apart. So you don't want to go there yet. So right now we're distracting, and this is fine. And the end of it, where they all attack him, sets up for future plot lines where he joins forces with somebody or multiple people to take on the Undisputed Era and to distract them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with it overall. I just think it should have been a lot more vicious of a match, probably shorter. I'm fine with the outcome. I feel like Velveteen Dream needed the win. It was like his first match back in forever. 5 months. He lost 5 months of his career. He certainly should have been a lot more aggressive.
Yeah.
But what else? I liked it fine. But let's rate this bitch. At What's NXT here, we like to rate the main event using the General's 5-star rating system. And Jerry, out of 5 stars, where do you rate tonight's main event?
I'm going to go middle of the road 3. There wasn't really any There wasn't no spice. There wasn't no pep. I actually fell asleep during the match.
Yeah, he actually did.
I fell asleep. Granted, I was already tired and everything, but at the same time, that did not help. The fact I was really jazzed for his match, and it kind of let me down. But
it was during the first commercial break, because that was the only commercial break that we got the picture-in-picture.
Yeah. And but like this is actually the anniversary of when Velveteen Dream actually won the North American title from Johnny Gargano. So one of the first times we actually edited together a video versus just like recorded it and posted it. But the match, I think it could have held off or been made into more of a personal, more of a personal feel. But this one just didn't sit right.
Well, the Cleaver Colin Andrews says, how many McGriddles could Matt Riddle griddle if Matt Riddle could griddle McGriddles? Love it. Love it. And he gives the main event a 3.75 Cleaver chops. It was super underwhelming for me with how many months it's been brewing. Yeah, that seems like kind of a high score
for being
underwhelmed. Yeah, I was a little bit more whelmed than you, though, I think. I think I'd give it 3 1/4. I don't think I would give it any extra stars or quarter stars coming off the back of a great show.
It was a show. It wasn't like it had a little bit of the fallout and set up for a little bit for this next week and the week after.
I tell you what, compared to the old style where it was recorded 3 or 4 weeks at a time, those hour-long shows, this is definitely like a great show. This show back then would get an extra half star coming off the back of a great show. But these days, like, we have so many great shows with NXT live on USA that
I'm going to start probably subtracting quarter stars for lack of Bugenhagen.
The crowd hasn't forgotten.
They haven't. And neither have we.
Give us Bugenhagen or give us...
You remember Bugenhagen? Pepperidge Farm remembers Bugenhagen.
We all remember Bugenhagen. So, I think that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for joining us. Please join us tomorrow for the NXT party, where we will be reviewing episode 63, 83,
83,
97. I don't know.
83.
Episode 83 of NXT UK. So join us, won't you? Up on the big screen, we should have joining us Colin Andrew, Christopher Mace, or one of the other, or both.
Both, probably both. Probably both.
If you would like to join us, you could bump their asses off. Leave a comment down below right now. Down below right now, leave a comment. If you are on for the first time, we will put you up there by yourself, give you a sweet nickname, put you in the NXT chat room, all of the cool stuff. We will even add you on Facebook. We don't do that for just anybody.
Yeah, no.
No. No, sir.
They have to accept the candy and get in the van for us to do that.
Meanwhile, if you want to find us on social media, you can find me on Twitter at nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to look me up, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter
at Gerald_JSJ and my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR.
Exclamation point! I'm the worst! Yeah. John Ralphio.
Alright. We also have our Facebook group for Aftermatch Wrestling.
Yeah, find us there.
Yeah, you can find us there. It's public, so go ahead and join up. And we also have our Instagram page, Aftermatch_Wrestling, ran by Cleaver Colin Andrew.
Yep, I'm on Instagram at osborne.stefan. I don't do nothing, but I also don't clog your news feed, so follow me if you want to. Follow him if you want to at
the_gentleman_slaughter.
There's that, and then there's the Patreon if you want to support us at Stefan R. Osborne, or if you just have some time. This is free. You want to support the channel, just do like the stuff. Like if you like the video, click the like button. That helps. If you like all of our videos, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button. That will help the channel. And if you want to help us grow and you've already subscribed, click the share button. And you can share us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or
LinkedIn or
there's a whole bunch of stuff you can share us on. You can send us via message to people.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know any friends that like to watch wrestling, maybe they'd like to watch us bullshit about the show.
Spread us like Samara's curse.
Meanwhile, I think we've had 4 live viewers, which is cool. That's cool.
2 of them stuck around.
If you would like to watch us live, and it is currently 9:22. So if you want to watch us live and you missed us and you could have and you are saddened by that, click the bell icon. Just take a moment, click the bell icon. The next time we go live, that will let you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you can come watch us live. Leave us questions.
It's usually around 8:45.
Yeah, meanwhile, to the few people that are leaving questions, that would be the 2 guests for the show tomorrow. If you have any questions before we end the show, drop them. I think we have about a minute.
Yep.
You got like 30 seconds, and we'll give you a minute. So, like, No DQ has been throwing around the idea of us going to California for WrestleMania next year, and that is an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
Is an interesting idea.
Toronto
is expensive idea.
Toronto was fun.
Toronto was fun, but
Toronto's expensive too.
Oh, it was expensive. It was more than we thought it was going to be, but not more than we could handle.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're thinking about going to California next year for the No DQ meetup, but that would be so many things to consider. We're just killing time here.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't see any questions coming in. You guys disappoint me. Colin the Cleaver says, "Would you rather see Balor versus Flair on Belair versus Flair on NXT or Raw?" First of all, if it was Balor versus Flair, I'd like to see that on both, both and SmackDown, and whatever pay-per-view is next. Just 4 matches and whoever, I don't know. Anyway, Belair versus Flair, I'd rather see it on NXT because that's what I cover.
Like, for me, granted, I don't watch Raw, but at the same time, I like the idea of Flair actually fighting Belair at Full Sail, because then she's attacking the home turf.
Let's see. Colin the Cleaver says, "If we could figure out a group rate, I could possibly go." Well, we were thinking about RVing it, because somehow in the last couple of months my parents bought an RV.
That's a recreational vehicle.
But that is literally a 2 days drive. That is driving for 16 hours, parking, sleeping for less than 8, driving for 16 more, and then hopefully you're there and there was no traffic that has slowed you up enough to where you have to park, sleep, and then drive more to get there the next day. So that's 4 days at the very least, probably 5 to have a nice buffer, that we have to take off outside of the actual weekend. So if we wanted to go to NXT and WrestleMania, that is at the very least 7 days off.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was going to go out there, man, I would try and do Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. If I could, to be honest, I would try and do all of it. Make it one big, giant, like, fuck you to myself event and to my bank account event. But just because, I mean, if I'm flying or driving out to California, to LA for 1 weekend, I mean, seriously, right?
I just want tacos served by Danny Trejo.
Like, even if I didn't have tickets to Friday Night SmackDown and Monday Night Raw, I would probably want to spend Friday and Monday there just so I could do other shit. So anyway, we were thinking about that. It would be definitely cool. Christopher May says, Belair versus Charlotte at TakeOver the day before WrestleMania. No. That diminishes, I think. Somehow that diminishes the WrestleMania win.
What they would have to do is they'll have to have the match between Belair and Flair 2 weeks prior to WrestleMania. That way you have your obligatory, like, face-to-face with Ripley and Charlotte the week of WrestleMania. Yeah. So, I think that brings us to the end of the show. This is what you get when you go live. Never know, folks. I think that's all the plugs and everything. Mm-hmm. So everything else for all of the rest of the NXT team, all their plugs are down below. Thank you again, Colin, for all of that. For the General Jerry Slaughter, I'm the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you
NXT time.